Hello everyone, welcome to Mo's Kitchen. Today we're going to make chicken cordon bleu. It sounds like a very fancy, very intimidating recipe, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. It's also a great way to enjoy a nice chicken dinner, and it's very surprising to your guests. Try it out. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so you're going to take your boneless, skinless chicken. You're going to season both sides gently with kosher salt and black pepper. It looks like I'm using a lot of salt, but kosher salt's just thicker, and it appears more in the video. Really, this is a good amount. Trust me. And then when you're done that, if you want, you can put some plastic wrap on top, but you don't have to. Some people believe it helps not tear the meat. And you're going to hammer the meat down and pound it down till it's about a 1/4 inch to about 1/2 inch thick. This is a very great recipe, so don't use any cheap, processed cheese. Use a very nice cheese. So I'm using a very high-end Swiss cheese. You can use whatever you want, though. It doesn't really matter. Gouda's nice, Gruyere, Asiago. You can use a cream cheese if you want. You can use multiple cheeses, which is always a good idea in my books. Next up, a lot of people like to use ham traditionally in this. I don't feel like it brings a lot of flavor to the party. Plus, a lot of people don't like ham out there, so I want to keep this more open. I'm going to use something to spice it up. Let's go with some Montreal smoked meat. Okay, so right now what you want to do is roll it tightly. This will be a little bit tricky sometimes. If you put too much in there, you may have to take some out or use a toothpick like I'm going to do. This is okay, but I feel like I should re-roll this. This doesn't work at all. Well, it might, but I'm going to re-roll it. So just start over. If I have to, I'll use less. Unfortunately, you'll have to either throw it out or cook it because this is touching raw chicken. Okay, let's bring on the real A-team. So I'm going to have my flour here. It's seasoned with some salt, pepper, a little bit of paprika. Make sure you get it all over the place, okay? Don't be afraid to use your hands. Don't be afraid to go in there. This is going to taste much better this way. That should be good. Now, once you're done, you just want to kind of shake off the excess. So I dredged it like flour. Shake off the excess. A little more. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I'm a little compulsive with this. Next up, egg wash. This will be a little bit easier. You can tell when it's on there. Get it all over the place. Up, down, every direction you need to do. Just do it. Next up, I have Japanese panko breadcrumbs. This is the best one you want to go with. So again, just roll it all over the place, including the top and the bottom. Just sprinkle some all over the place too. You can refrigerate this if you need to overnight, or even 2 days. You can do it 2 days in advance, assuming your chicken is bought the day of. So a good rule of thumb is when you get chicken, bring it home, use it within 3 or 4 days. And if you season it one day, it can last you 2 or 3 more days. So here's where things are going to get a little interesting. On medium heat, you're going to sear all 6 sides, okay? All 4 sides and then the 2 end sides. You want to sear it, just get golden brown color because you're going to finish it in the oven. It is actually possible to finish it all here in the pan, realistically, but then you have to play a lot with temperatures. So you could also go on medium-high for like 30 seconds aside, but just go with medium for now. Also, a technique for not getting it dry is turn down to low about 1 or 2 minutes after it's frying. You really got to do it about 4 minutes aside or even 3 minutes aside. Finish cooking it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, you're going to make the sauce. This is just a very basic bechamel sauce. So melt some butter on medium heat, then add in your flour, and you want to whisk it in good for about 3 minutes or so, just so you can get that raw, floury taste out of it. Okay, that looks nice. Now we're going to add in our milk. That's basically what this is. This is a very basic bechamel sauce, but we're going to add in herbs later to make it taste a little bit better. So add in your milk. Whoops. You're going to add in about half of it at a time, and then you're going to just give it a whisk to kind of thicken it up. Then you're going to add in the other half. Make sure you cook the flour out long enough, or else you're going to have that floury taste in the sauce. There's no way to fix it. You'd have to restart the whole dish. Now we're going to season it up with generous amounts of salt and pepper. I'd say maybe 10 fresh grinds, and maybe about 2 teaspoons of salt. It can be regular salt or kosher, doesn't really matter. Just gonna sprinkle it over like that. Now you're gonna be simmering it for maybe 10 minutes or until it gets to the desire you want, kind of like this. You want to taste it and adjust. I thought mine was a bit bland, so I added about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. You can add nutmeg, you can really add anything. You can add some paprika, you can add some curry powder. You can really make this sauce your own unique sauce. This is a mother sauce after all, so that's the whole point. But I'm just going with the basic bechamel. I'm gonna add in some herbs right at the end. So again, this is basically on the lowest to second lowest setting right now. You don't need it any higher than this. You don't want it too high. You'll burn the pan. You'll ruin the sauce. Now I'm going to add in 2 very big handfuls each of parsley and tarragon. Basil works nice in this. Any herb really works nice in this. Don't worry about chopping them too fine. The sauce will kind of disintegrate them and soften them a bit. They're here for flavors. You want to tear them a bit or chop them a bit, feel free. But don't worry too much about it. You're not doing any chiffonade or anything right now. Now my sauce was done before my chicken came out of the oven, so I could add a little splash of milk if you'd like, but keep it on a low setting or even off the heat and on the heat a little bit, just so it doesn't get too thick or reduce too much. But hey, it's up to you. That is beautiful. Now you want to slice it. You want to check if it's cooked all the way. If it's not, don't worry. Just pop it right back in the oven for another couple of minutes. Mine, I could have deducted 5 minutes off the cooking time and it still would have been good. And there we have it, guys. Chicken cordon bleu. This happens to be one of my favorite recipes that I've made so far. It's just a great chicken feeling with those nice crispy breadcrumbs. You've got the gooey cheese in there and the meat, and topping it off with that herb bechamel sauce. You've got to make this for a loved one, say your family or your wife. They'll really enjoy it. Give it a try. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of my video, and visit my website, Mo's Kitchen, for all the recipe amounts. And everybody, enjoy.